It's nothing like getting your summer going by getting chased by a guy in a raincoat and a giant hook. You guys ready for summer? Hey guys, this is your boy Bobby. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new to this channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell at the bottom. So whenever I put out a new video, you guys will be alerted. But yesterday I had put up a poll on my Instagram with some throwback horror movies for you guys to vote to see which one you guys want me to review to get this summer edition kicked off. So the first movie I had on there was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, the Hills Have Eyes remake, Dawn of the Dead remake, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. And by popular vote, most of you guys voted for I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is a pretty good choice.
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
Okay, I Know What You Did Last Summer, directed by Jim Gillespie, and it's starring Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Ryan Phillippe, and I believe Freddie Prinze Jr. This movie starts off with a group of teenagers. They're celebrating the summer. I think they just graduated high school, and they're having a good time, you know, out on the beach, at a party, just enjoying themselves because they graduated and they're moving on to college and doing bigger things with their life. So these guys end up having a good time, drinking, particularly Barry, played by Ryan Phillippe. So they end up going in a car, they end up hitting this, you know, this pedestrian in the middle of nowhere. They end up trying to dump his body, get rid of it, and they're like panicking because they don't know what to do. They never, you know, hit anybody before. Barry's drunk out of his mind, so he's not in his right state of mind. And they end up just trying to get rid of this, you know, the body that they hit. Come to find out when they try to dump the body in the water, the guy was still alive. So they just like let him go inside the water, and they thought he was dead. And they're left with this, you know, this event that just happened to them, hitting this guy, and they end up following them for the rest of the summer. And the movie flash forward to next summer. They're all still bothered by the effects of what happened to them last summer by hitting this guy and getting rid of the body, because technically that's murder. And you know, when this happened, Julie wanted to go to the police, and her friend Helen and Ray and Barry, they were all trying to cover this up and act like none of this didn't happen. And out of the group of friends, Julie was the only one that wanted to go to the police and give them up, because she can't live with all this baggage and stuff that her and her friends did, you know, to this poor guy that they hit in the road. But, you know, with peer pressure of all her other friends, and they convinced her not to, you know, go to the police. So yeah, it followed them throughout the next summer. Julie ends up going back home from college, you know, and she ends up seeing a note that said, "I know what you did last summer." So she starts freaking out because it's exactly of what she remembered what she did last summer with her and her friends hitting that guy. So they all didn't get notes, but throughout the course of the film, the guy that they hit, he's going around to them one by one, doing little small things, like, you know, cutting off Helen's hair and attacking Barry, chasing him down the car. Ray, we don't know what happened with him, so everybody thought that Ray was the killer, or the guy that they seen with this slicker and this big ass hook. They think it's him because Ray works, now that they're out of school, Ray now is a fisherman and he's working on the boats. So they are required to wear slickers and these big hooks and fish hooks and things like that. So at first they thought it was him doing all the games and, you know, messing with them. And they were saying like, all these bad things happened to us, why nothing didn't happen to you? He was like, well, I got a note too. And they were just like, oh, well, you know, Julie got this and Helen got this and I got this and you just got a damn note. Like, what's going on? So they go on this hunt to look for this guy who they hit. They want to like talk to him and like work things out, because they don't want to go back to the police, obviously, and they were tired of being tormented. So they was trying to look for this guy. So they end up finding this guy's sister, who they thought it was, and it seems to be that way, like they were related. But then come to find out, the person that they were looking for wasn't the actual guy. So it left them all confused, like, all right, so if it's not him, then who could it be? While they're trying to figure out who this guy is and who's messing with them and taunting them, the fisherman is still continuing doing his thing. But this time he's not giving them any warnings. He's out for blood. So Helen, she's like a pageant girl. She's sitting there doing her pageant thing with her new hairstyle because he had cut all her hair off in the middle of the night. And she admired her hair most of the time. And he cut it off in the middle of the night. I don't understand how she didn't fucking feel that. I mean, if you're sleeping, I can imagine feeling some tugs and, you know, or hearing some snips or whatever. So she must be a pretty darn, like, heavy sleeper because, girl, like, you wake up to a surprise, all you hear is on the pillow. You did not feel this man cutting your hair off. Okay, Helen. So anyway, Helen is, you know, on her little pageant thing with her new hairdo, which looks a lot better short anyway, in my opinion. Her boyfriend Barry's up in the balcony watching her. She looks up at the balcony and see the fisherman attacking Barry, and she starts screaming and asking everybody for help and just mostly screaming, not telling the people, the crowd, everybody, the police, or whoever's just watching at this pageant. She's not telling them what's happening. She's just screaming and calling Barry's name. She's not saying, look up at the balcony. She probably said it like once or twice, but she wasn't making it evident like, on the balcony, my boyfriend's being killed. Hurry up, look at the balcony, go to the balcony. She wasn't being really, you know, precise on what, like, she wants these police to do until it was too late. After all the stuff happened and Barry was killed, then she tells the people to look up at the balcony. And when they go up and search, Barry's gone because the fisherman had taken his body. So that's one of my frustrations with this movie. Like, they're not really, I understand that they're scared, but they're not telling the police and the people what they want, or their friends, or just giving people a warning of any kind. It's just mostly just screaming. And it's just like, you're screaming, but what for? Like, what the fuck is going on? So, I don't know. But anyway, so Barry's gone. They go up to the balcony. He's not there. The fisherman had taken his body. You probably just see blood on a little railing or whatever, but it's not in there. It's not something that they notice, but as viewers, we notice it because it's pointed at a different, you know, camera frame. But the policeman that went up there, he offered to take her home. So he's taking her home. She's sitting in the back car, cursing the police dude out, saying, like, my boyfriend would never do this. Like, you guys are not doing your job. Like, I'm not going crazy. The policeman thinking this is like an urban legend about a guy killing people with a hook, and she's just like, whatever. So the policeman is taking Helen home. They end up stopping because they see a broken down car, and the guy looked like his car is just broken down. He's trying to fix it. So Helen quickly notices that it's the fisherman. So she's trying to yell to the police like, no, that's him, that's him. And the fisherman turn around like, what? The fisherman kills the cop. Helen gets out of the car. She ends up running, you know, from the fisherman. She ends up going to her sister's shop. She's screaming, banging on the door. And like Halloween style, and like Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, she's banging on the door, screaming for help, asking her sister to get the keys and open the door. And you see the fisherman like walking towards her, trying to get at her. And she's banging at the door, screaming for help. And this is definitely paying homage to Halloween. So her sister takes forever getting the damn car keys. Like, I don't understand. You see your sister, and I understand you and your sister don't get along. You're jealous or whatever, because it's shown in the movie that she's kind of like feels some type of way about her sister. So Helen is like slamming and screaming in the door, like open the door, and she's taking forever getting the keys. Like, all right, I'm almost there. So she takes her time getting to the door. She opens the door for Helen. Helen's just like, all right, hurry up and lock the back door. So her sister's walking to the back door, but before her sister even gets all the way to the back door, the fisherman already walks in, but she doesn't see him. So she locks the door. She ends up getting killed by the fisherman because she's just that stupid and she just don't pay attention to anything. The music goes off, the lights goes off, so Helen's in the shop by herself. She's scared. She don't know what she wants to do. She sees the fisherman. He's trying to grab her. He's he's running after her. She sees her sister dead. And I must say, Sarah Michelle Gellar did an awesome job in this movie because her character was kind of likable. She was real chill. She wasn't like a bitch or nothing, but she was real likable. And I would say, out of most horror films, she has one of the most iconic chase scenes in like horror history. It was very long. It was suspenseful. It was scary. You actually liked the character, so you wanted her to win. She actually even put up a fight against the fisherman. So it was very sad to see her go. So he pretty much like chases her, and like she escapes. She's running down the alley when she escapes from the shop, and she see like the parade or whatever, because it's like 4th of July happening. So she goes straight towards the parade where there's a whole bunch of people. But for some reason, she makes this dumb, idiotic move by stopping and looking back to see if he's there. But then when she looks back, he's right in front of her. So she's fighting him, and then he ends up killing her, where the people in the parade don't see her because she's in the alley and it's kind of like out of frame. So you just see a whole bunch of stuff going on, but she ends up meeting her demise that way. But it sucks because, like I said, she was a great character, and she had one of the most like best chase scenes in horror history, in my opinion. But she just made that stupid move by stopping. If she just would have kept going, I think she probably would have lived a lot longer in this movie. So then you got Julie looking for Helen, and then Barry and stuff. She don't know what's going on. She ends up finding Ray, and she sees that on the boat as she's talking to him that it said like Billy Blue or something like that. And it reminded her when she went to go see the guy who they thought hit Sister, played by Anne Heche. Played by Anne Heche. So she mentioned that a guy came to visit her, a charming guy named Billy Blue. And she seemed, to fancy this guy. And, Julie don't know who the hell Billy Blue was. So she's like, whatever. So as she's talking to Ray, she sees on a boat that it says Billy Blue. So then she puts 2 and 2 together, like Billy Blue is you. So she thinking in her head that, Ray somehow the killer, or he has something to do with everything. And, she starts running from him. A mysterious guy just ends up hitting Ray and tell Julie to run, like get in the boat and run. He's going to handle it. So then the guy walks towards Julie, and then he starts to slowly reveal himself that the guy's like hitting people, blah, 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 blah. So she put that together like, oh my gosh, this is the guy that, that we hit, and then he wants revenge on us. And then he pulls out his hook and starts chasing her throughout this boat. So Ray's knocked out. He don't know what's going on, but then he finally wakes up, and then he tries his best to save Julie. Julie's going in and out of the boats, and the tops, the bottoms. She ends up finding Barry and Helen dead inside the ice inside the boat. So she's still trying to survive. Ray ends up saving her. The guy tried to kill both of them. His name is now Ben Willis. It's revealed that it's Ben Willis, and that's the guy that hit him. And they got confused because, come to find out, in the beginning of the movie, there was a guy. He had like a charm bracelet or something. I don't know. I don't remember. And apparently, Ben Willis had killed that guy because this guy was feeling sick, or like he was just like not feeling himself, because apparently he was dating Ben Willis' daughter, and they were in a car accident, and Ben Willis' daughter ended up being killed. So Ben Willis ended up killing this guy that was in the very beginning of the film, but it wasn't revealed until later at the end of the film. And that same night when he killed that guy, that's when Julie and her friends were on the road, and they ended up hitting Ben Willis with the car. And they got that confused, thinking that that was the guy that they went to, visit his sister's, house and family and stuff. But come to find out, they end up hitting the killer, the real killer of the guy or whatever. But he was just on the revenge thing because of his daughter being killed, and now he's going after them because they hit him. So this whole thing was kind of confusing. I remember as a kid, I didn't really understand what was going on. I was just like, all right, so who's the real killer? But now watching it as an adult, I can say like it's kind of easy to get now. So Ben Willis still trying to go after Julie and Ray. Ends up trying to get him with this hook. Ray do something with the boat and the ropes, and it ends up getting wrapped around Ben Willis' hand. His whole hand with the hook comes off, and he gets tossed inside the ocean. So Ray and Julie think that they survived the whole thing. They telling the police like, I don't know why he's after us. So they're lying again and not going to the police of what really happened. So it just goes off from there. And then if fast forward another year later, Julie and Ray is obviously a happy couple. She's flirting with him on the phone, and just being super cheesy, like, oh my gosh, I miss you too. You can love up on me when I see you. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see you. And it's typical teenage girl thing or whatever, that's just so happy to see their boyfriend. I don't know, it's kind of cringing like watching that scene, because I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love Jennifer Love Hewitt, but that acting was just a little But anyway, the movie ends with her getting another note. She thought it was from the whole Ben Willis thing, because she thought it was going to say, I know what you did last summer again, but she was end up being invited to a party. So then in the back of her, because she was about to take a shower, it says, I still know. And pretty much, I guess the illusion of Ben Willis just coming out of the shower and attacking her, and the movie just ends right there. So yeah, guys, I Know What You Did Last Summer came out in 1997. It's definitely one of those old school cheesy 90s horror movies, slasher horror films, I should say. But they were a lot of fun. That's one thing I can say is I love 80s and the 90s horror films, but I can say the 90s were tons of fun as far as with their movies. And also, it was like a new approach and take on the horror genre. We have our old slasher horror, iconic characters like Michael Myers and Jason and Freddy. But in the 90s, we got like a good, fresh new amount of slashers like Candyman, Ghostface from Scream. And you got The Fisherman. And even though The Fisherman is not like a big, well-known, iconic character, because it's just a guy in a slicker carrying a hook. And we kind of already seen the whole hook thing being done with Candyman. But this movie, being as though because it's in the 90s, you had a whole bunch of 90s coming up actors and actresses that we all pretty much knew. You have Jennifer Love Hewitt. She was in a lot of things, a lot of teen dramas and teen movies, and a lot of stuff that we like growing up. And then you have Sarah Michelle Gellar. She's also been in a few other movies and TV shows. Freddie Prinze Jr., all the girls love this dude. Ryan Philippe, all these girls love this dude too. So you have a lot of characters. So you have a lot of actors and actresses that, in these 90s films that make these movies kind of like fun. And a lot of people run to see these movies because they're familiar with these faces. And they're not too bad looking people too. Like, they're gorgeous people. And the 90s were just focused on that type of thing, usually with their horror movies. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And being as though that this movie came out, I believe, after Scream. It's written by the same guy who did Scream, Kevin Williamson. He went on to do bigger and better things after the 90s. He did a whole bunch of movies. He did other TV shows. And you can definitely tell this is his style of writing because it's kind of similar to Scream, especially with the type of characters that are in these movies. So, yeah, I Know What You Did Last Summer, I would say is a good summer movie to watch. If you're fine with watching old school horror movies, because I know some people don't like the old school ones, they like the newer ones, or like spirits, or like ghost stories, or whatever. A lot of people don't get into the slashers, but I Know What You Did Last Summer is definitely a fun horror movie. It's definitely a summer vibe movie, and you would have a good time watching it. It's definitely up there for me as far as one of my favorite 90s horror movies, because we didn't have too many, but this was definitely one of the ones I had fun watching. Another thing I like about this movie is that it took creative chances and try to do things differently than what we've seen before. As cliche as a lot of stuff happened in this movie, the mystery behind it all was pretty intriguing, and I kind of like what they try to do there with that. And like I said, Kevin Williamson, he did Scream. He was on the ball with writing these movies. So being as though that Scream was a big box office hit, he was trying to do something else that was a little bit different, and it didn't make as much money as Scream did, and it's not as popular as Scream is. But I Know What You Did Last Summer is, like I said, is definitely a fun movie to watch. You can definitely put it in the same category as the Scream movie. One of my biggest cons, though, what I don't like about this movie is that, again, the characters, when they're in danger, I understand that it's scary, so they just scream. And when their friends are in danger, they're not making it, evident that the killer's behind them. They're just screaming. So how does the person know where to look? You know what I mean? Like, you can scream and say, hey, look behind you. But no, you got the fisherman behind one character and then the person that's in front of them, and they just screaming. If the fisherman was behind me and my friend is screaming that's in front of me, I'm gonna be like, bitch, what the fuck you screaming at? And I might get scared, and I guess in certain situations you might automatically look behind you. But it's just like, in this film, a lot of it didn't work. This, again, with the scene with Helen, Sarah Michelle Gellar character, while her boyfriend's being killed on the balcony, she's just screaming, and she's not making it like evident that her boyfriend is being killed on top of the balcony. She's not saying, everybody go to the balcony, hurry up, look, 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 look. She's not pointing to it. And it was frustrating. I mean, she might have been pointing to it, but like, again, she wasn't making it clear what was going on. I understand she was scared and terrified, but your dude is being chopped up in the balcony and you're just screaming. And then when you finally tell him in the balcony, he's gone, he's dead, it's too late. Same thing with Julie. She's being chased in the boat and like she's just screaming, and just when Ray's in trouble, she just screaming and just like, let them know where the fucking fisherman at. Like, you already know what the dude look like. He's not that scary. Yes, it is scary that he's chasing your ass with a giant hook, but you know what this man look like now. So you shouldn't be screaming all like that. You need to make a, you need to show that the fisherman is behind your boyfriend, and you need to let him know. But they weren't doing that. They were just screaming at the top of their lungs most of the time. And it was super frustrating, and I was getting very annoyed. When I was younger, I didn't really notice it because as a kid, when watching this, I believe I was 9 years old when this movie came out. Watching it, it's like you just want the characters to survive. They're running from a killer. But now as an adult, it's just like, you have enough common sense now. You need to let these people know what the hell is going on. So that's one of my biggest complaints in this film. But what I will say, the standout star, the biggest star, the standout star in this movie is Sarah Michelle Gellar. Like I said, even though Julie, Jennifer Love Hewitt character, is the main character on here, and the movie is basically focused on her, Helen, I feel like, had a little bit more better of a backstory. Like, I wanted to know what the beef with her and her sister was, like why she was so jealous, why her father act like he didn't really care too much what was going on in her life. And I was just curious to see how her family life was, and I can see the director wanted to focus probably more on her on that story too, because he gave her, like I said, the longest chase scene in this movie. He made her character likable. Her character overall, like, you wanted her to survive, and you felt bad for her when she ended up being killed. So she was definitely the standout star in my opinion in this movie. So big ups to Sarah Michelle Gellar in here. She did a great job. But yeah, guys, that's my review for I Know What You Did Last Summer. If you guys liked it, I hope you guys end up watching it. They have the movie now on Netflix, so hurry up and watch it before they take it away. Even though it was a summer movie, you know how Netflix is, they might end up just taking the movie off right when we get into the middle of summer. So if you guys are curious to watch this movie, if you've never seen it before, post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought about the movie, if you've seen it before. If you haven't seen it before, and if you're going to watch it, let me know. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the movie, because I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. It was a fun movie to watch. Don't forget to also subscribe, hit the notification bell like I said in the beginning of the video. And I'll see you guys next time on the next Torres Terror Throwbacks. And also, yeah, I'm going to put up another poll next week with another summer movie that I should, do a review on. So you guys, go to my Instagram, check it, and let me know if you guys want me to review certain movies whenever I put the poll up. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.